In this video, I will be reviewing the bike lanes of J Street and Smith Streets in Brooklyn. I'm including them both in the same video since both lanes are connected. Smith Street turns into J Street north of Fulton Street in downtown Brooklyn. The northbound route is 2.6 miles long and the southbound route is 1.1 miles long. The northbound route starts in Red Hook at Halleck Street and runs through the neighborhoods of Carroll Gardens, Boerum Hill, downtown Brooklyn, and ending in Dumbo at John Street, while the southbound route begins in Dumbo and ends in downtown Brooklyn at Schemerhorn Street. The route is extremely accessible, connecting many east and west bike routes. For travelers to and from Lower Manhattan, the J Street bike lane intersects with Tillery Street for easy connection to the Brooklyn Bridge, and at Sand Street for connection to the Manhattan Bridge. The route is a mixture of shared lane, conventional painted bike lane, and protected bike lane with parked cars acting as a buffer. The route is protected from Willoughby Street to Nassau Street for northbound travel, and from Nassau Street to Myrtle Avenue for southbound travel. However, the route is primarily a conventional bike lane, and I am grading it as such due to the fact that the protected lane shares the same exact dangers as most of the route. Note that these clips were taken during a Saturday, and during the week these roads are frequently seen with bumper-to-bumper traffic for most of the route south of Tillery Street. Not only is it a major truck and bus route, vehicles crowd this route since it is one of the most direct routes to downtown Brooklyn and Manhattan. In addition, vehicles can often be double parked on either side of the street, and the high population density, especially in Boerum Hill and downtown Brooklyn, entice pedestrians to use the bicycle lanes as an extension of the sidewalk. I'll show a few examples here of all the safety hazards.
Hello, watch out!
Traveling on this route is extremely dangerous, and I would recommend wearing high visibility gear at all times, using a bell or a horn, and running lights even in the daytime. Travel carefully and use discretion. Don't overtake or undertake vehicles unless you are absolutely certain you are able to clear. The protected bike lane in the end doesn't do much good since the problem is the width of the street and not so much the design. You will have to judge for yourself if taking the car lane is safer than taking the protected lane. Take note that the protected lane is located in the door zone of the passenger side of parked cars. Although it is less likely to open than a driver's side door, you will still need to be aware. The area from Fulton Street to Tillery Street is infamous for pedestrians crossing against the light and walking in the bike lane. If you would like to see some more examples of the hazards that come along with this route, I'll leave some links to some videos by a YouTube cycle vlogger named Riding with Jahv in the video description below. He takes this route regularly during his commute, and I commend him for taking such a dangerous route. If you like his videos, be sure to subscribe to him. The portion of the bike lane at Sand Street under the Manhattan Bridge is confusing, so I'll explain it here. As you approach Sand Street, be careful of the metal bollards that are placed on the curb ramp. Here, going under the bridge and remaining straight will lead you to the bike lane on the north side of the Manhattan Bridge. However, making a right immediately after the metal bollards will lead you to the south side of the bridge, which is for pedestrians only. It also involves stairs. At the second curb, you will encounter two painted markings, one to the northwest and one to the northeast. The northwest route continues the J Street bike lane towards Dumbo, and the northeast route continues onto the Sand Street median towards Navy Street and the Brooklyn Navy Yard. When under the bridge at the crosswalks, you must remain vigilant and look out for traffic at all times. This is an area that is especially dangerous since vehicles merge onto the Brooklyn-Queens Expressway entrance ramp. In addition, I have observed cars running the lights here as it is not very well lit.
That is why you gotta watch out. I-9U474 running through a red light. Poor design. How are people supposed to figure this out? So two-way becomes one-way.
While going southbound, note that the bike route ends at Schermerhorn Street. However, the bike lane markings at this intersection are confusing as hell, and there is absolutely no indication that the lane is going to end until you realize you are going down a one-way street onto oncoming traffic. This is a safety hazard for everyone, and I recommend for the city to act quickly to remedy this. Be aware of when the southbound route ends and use the pedestrian crosswalk to cross safely when making a left onto Schermerhorn Street. For the final scores, the Smith Street/J Street bike lanes receive a safety rating of 1 out of 10. This is an absolute horror show of a bike route, but unfortunately, I don't think there's much the city can do to make it safer, other than close the street entirely to car traffic, but it's just the nature of the area for traffic and congestion to be here. The streets are simply too narrow to handle all the forms of transportation. If you do decide to use this route, again, wear high visible clothing, run bike lights even in the daytime, use your discretion, and be aware of traffic at all times. And if you think it's bad now, just wait until Mayor Bill de Blasio's streetcar comes to J Street as well. That'll be something, right? For access, the bike route scores a perfect 10 out of 10. It is the most direct route for cyclists to access downtown Brooklyn and Manhattan, and unfortunately, one of the most direct for cars, trucks, and buses as well. You can connect to the route from just about anywhere east and west of the area extremely easily due to the many bike routes available. The route receives a score of 3 out of 10 for scenery, since it goes through mostly commercial areas. There are some spots of charm along the route, with the restaurants and bars in Carroll Gardens and Dumbo in particular. However, the part of Dumbo that the route takes you through isn't even the nicer part of Dumbo, which is located west of the Manhattan Bridge. In conclusion, this route scores a 4.67 out of 10. This route should be attempted by experienced cyclists only. Do what you need to get through here and get out. It's not worth risking your life to sightsee here. And if you do decide to sightsee, stay on the sidewalk, please. Thank you for watching my review of the J Street and Smith Street bike lanes, and stay safe, everyone.